Oh man. Okay. I don't know how long it'll take for people to join in, but I wanted to basically put up this live stream, and I am unbelievably tired right now. Just unbelievably tired. Oh, I guess it just started. Okay, I wanted to make this live stream in regards to an issue that's been happening lately, or should I say a misunderstanding, really. And some of you may have most likely have already seen the videos. Now, I've already have a screenshot as evidence that there is view count and a lot of different things on my device being tampered with. Now, one of the recent vids that I've actually uploaded, I just so happened to notice that there's 2 dislikes on it, but the view count is only showing up as 1. So how can there be 2 dislikes on that video if one of them, if there's just only 1 like? Now, I'm gonna have this on another video that I'm gonna showcase, but that'll be later on when I basically repost the 2 videos related to both those 6 executives from eBay who basically got busted for organized stalking. That has to go back on the channel. The only reason why I took the videos down is because of the first video, which was basically discrediting Wayne, Jeffo, and Cheryl. I took that down because apparently it upset them, and that's not what the intent was. Now, the whole thing that there was a like on there, that was my mistake. The video that I assumed that will be posted soon. I'm pretty certain. I believe it should be most likely already on the guide channel. So if you hadn't seen it, it's already on there. You'll be able to see it there. Now, here's the thing. Everybody needs to understand, even with this that has happened, everybody, including myself, is being messed with directed energy weapons. This stuff can mess with you. This stuff can cause different actions to happen. This stuff can cause different things to happen. That's just what this stuff does. Looks like we got the first person joining the chat. But everybody needs to remember that, and they're gonna use this stuff to basically to do as best as to do a divide and conquer technique. They've done this in Next Level's chat. They literally did it in Next Level's chat while I went up there, and I decided to let him just handle the situation. I could have addressed it, but you see, I decided not to. The whole thing that they try to do is basically bring drama onto your channels and drama amongst fellow TIs. Again, the whole agenda that they're trying to pull through was a divide and conquer. That's what it is. But there was no way that the intent of that video was not to discredit anybody. So I want people to just to understand that it is not to do that. Even if my name comes out, I really don't honestly care. I'm just another victim of a situation to where my mind was basically being manipulated against my own will, little that I know. And as the end result of that, it's just done nothing but brought all of this stuff that I'm going through right now. Even going outside of being beamed with around levels of, as high as 8,000 of radiation, and you can literally look at the live stream and check it out for yourself. Not just that, constant psyops. I'm sure I made an anti-nano bucket, but I'm guessing being free from this mess. Wait, sorry, man. They're not gonna get away with anything. Ultimately, I hope they know you look all right. You're doing great. All right. Yeah. But I had to definitely clear up the misunderstanding regardless of what's going on. It's a lot of confusion, but a lot of, I'm hoping we can just move past this. But despite the fact of what I am stating right now, I can't deny the fact that there is infiltration amongst TI groups. That is a known fact that is happening. These, with this whole perps, it's not even surprising that it's happened. It's happened before. This organization is so bad that it even turns your family against you. This has actually happened on more than one occasion. So it's a very difficult situation, but even despite that, I still intend to help as many people out as I possibly can. A person can call me a perp if they want. I could care less. A person can throw out my name out there if they want. I could care less. Look, I'm going to continue to help everybody out as best I can. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to basically call any perps at whatsoever schizophrenic, a perp as a fake, or TI, anything like that. I'm not here to, what? Wait a minute. Did I just... Wow. Even as I'm trying to speak, I can't. My mind is already being messed with. Man, damn. I'm not making these channels to basically call any TI a perp in any way. Anyone who is a perp, basically posing as a TI, eventually going to give themselves away at some point. That's just what's going to happen. Now, these channels that I made, both this one and the guide channel, are only meant for both awareness and helpful information. That's it. That's the only reason why these channels were made. You all saw, if you see the last live stream I made, the very last one that I made, earlier when I was outside, I was being hit with levels of high as 8,000 radiation levels. That is not normal for a person to be walking around with that much radiation beamed on them. That is not normal at all. I don't know. I'm guessing maybe it had something to do with the executive situation for me putting those videos back up, because apparently the channel that was showcasing that, the fellow TI, he was pointing out that the perps were moving into action to basically censor that that information about that. They didn't want people seeing it because they desperately are trying to hide that information. That's why I got to put that back on the guide channel. I would have done it now, but I'm gonna do it soon. But like even now, it's like 11:45 p.m. It's like super late right now. After being hit with those weapons like that, having to work on that bucket, I'm just exhausted right now. It's crazy. But I intend to definitely get off the grid and then just get away from all of this mess for good. Growing up, I would have never guessed that people's minds were basically being, robbed of their sanity like this, man. I would have never guessed. And the people who know about this, who see this happening, just lets it happen, and they just don't care. They don't. Man. Let's see. I believe the next project I gotta work on as well. I still need to finish the barrel, but that won't take a lot. As I stated before, I just gotta saw off the top and then basically add on the adapter. Damn, I still gotta get in contact with Vulcan to see if he wants a barrel and a line of copper, just to be safe. That way he'll be able to also detoxify this stuff, because if they're hitting me that badly with over 8,000 levels of radiation, chances are they're doing him even worse. And I don't even know if he even has an anti-nano bucket. I still got plenty of supplies that I would love to send out too, that's left over, but I'm pretty certain they're going to tamper with that and prevent it from even getting to any other TIs. But I'm going to be able to help themselves with that. I can already just tell they're just not going to let that happen. This world, man, it's very cruel. It desperately tries to manipulate you. It desperately tries to psyop you. It tries to confuse you. It tries to use you, and so much more. What were the units of the measurements of the radiation? arch, dude, that was over 8,000. That meter was over 8,000. You can literally look at it on the video. Go as far as to where I started approaching the streetlights. I stopped and I had it recorded. You could just turn the quality up to. You got to turn it up to like at least around 720 or 780p for you to be able to see it. You'll be able to get the watts from that too. That entire time I was crossing those streetlights, that's what I was being hit with. That much radiation. Hang on, let me plug up this charger. Oh man, I'm exhausted. It was I guess it must have been the BQ. Hang on, give me a second. I may have to relook at that video. Also, I was able to snap a screenshot that is proof of them definitely messing with the view count of the videos. I ended up one of the videos that I recently posted actually had gotten 2 dislikes, but it only had 1 view count. I never seen, and I've never seen a video have only 1 view but 2 dislikes. It's crazy. And you can tell by the screenshot, you can tell it wasn't from me. It was from definitely someone else. So there's definitely something else going on. I'm beginning to. I don't even know what I really did. I'm guessing it must have been about the executive thing, because I did mention I would put that back up. But I'm guessing that must have what really pissed them off. And I mean, it's okay. So yeah, that was the that was. Looks like it's under V/M, and it said, and right next to that it says electric field, right next to it, and below that is magnetic field, which is the UTs, I think. But man, dude, that oh damn. Detoxing this stuff won't be a problem. Completely out of the body once I finish this barrel, but this whole thing is going to get a lot more dangerous afterwards. I can just tell. Just getting away from them. And I know for a fact because, dude, the first time I went into hiding from these perps, the first time, I wasn't even very far from my apartment. They had the ambulance out there, the police, and the fire company, fire trucks and all, man, all of that. And then finding out that I'm a TI later on, I'm starting to realize that other TIs are saying like if they can't not like locate the target individual, they'll actually flood the area with stuff like that in order to find them. And then as soon as I started looking through even more research, I started finding out about the noise harassment, the flashing lights that they do. I don't know about an abandoned mine, but I guess it's the best. The more remote it is, the better, I guess. But you're gonna have to before anybody gets off the grid, people must detox that stuff completely out of their systems to cut themselves off from that from these DEW weapons. They gotta do that. That's the main important thing right there. It is too dangerous going off the grid while still being under that thing's effects. It's too dangerous. I guess it would. I mean, I think it would. But there's one thing that has me concerned, though. It turns out the video that I was trying to basically check in wasn't what I was expecting, but it turns the dude did mention something that basically had me a bit worried. Turns out Bill Gates, the same bastard who's basically pushing for all those vaccinations, he's actually buying a lot of money into underground bunkers. So what I'm worried about is with how much money is going into, since he's back in the World Health Organization with what they're doing, I'm afraid that if it gets to a point to where like they don't get their way, they're gonna have the nerve to actually try to send out nukes and then fall back into those shelters while everything just literally just get blown up. That's what I'm worried about. And most likely, if they do a stunt like that, they're going to aim for the cities when they do that, or if they do that. Yeah, that's that. I mean, that's just another reason to get off the grid while you can. But also just detox this stuff, as best you can. I would start sending donations to TIs again, but I tried that. They blocked that. I tried sending it to Targeted Citizen. They wouldn't let that happen. Immediately when I'm going up to the store to try to have that happen, the lady basically giving me the runaround. Oh, well, the gift cards don't scan. So I'm basically trying to send some funds to a family who, to be able to take care of themselves, and it doesn't happen. I was lucky enough to basically be able to help at least one TI in that way, and I believe, I think, who was that? Damn, I can't remember her name. I am subscribed to her channel though. I was able to help her out, and she's going through a bad situation. Actually, a dangerous one because of the two doorways are like open where she's staying at. She's staying in like, I think like not a basement, but a garage. And the two doorways are open, so like it's very concerning whenever she, if she ever goes to sleep there, because I mean the people she's living with are perps. Targeted Citizen already, was complaining about how like someone snuck in his house and had vaccinated him, gave him a tetanus shot with something in his sleep. Oh man, it's like 11:56, but at least I was able to get done what I needed to take care of. As far as this misunderstanding situation goes, I'm just basically gonna just put my bit of information out there to basically try to clear it up. I mean, it's only to just apologize about the situation because it wasn't really to, discredit them. I'm only mentioning this just in case, they do see this, just so they know. But I mean, if they don't forgive me, well, it just is what it is. I can't do nothing about that. At least I can just take the first step to basically apologize for it, because it wasn't meant. Because even other like I get that other TIs are concerned about even doing that, because the only real intent is to basically shine awareness of a TI being discredited. But when another TI sees that, they may get the other idea. So it's a very delicate situation dealing with that. Is this thing charging? Oh, it's not charging. Oh man, I can only imagine how people years ago, who had to deal with this, were even surviving the way that they were. Because honestly, with the knowledge most of us have, they didn't have that knowledge back then. So I can only just imagine all the stuff they had to deal with. I mean, granted, it's definitely no different than what we're all going through now, but It had definitely had to been a lot worse. Because at the time, you didn't have as many whistleblowers out there as you do now. Oh, man. I guess a lot of people are basically victims of circumstance and manipulation, but man, the more and more you look at it, the more and more worse it gets. You can go out and basically speak the truth, let people know where your channel was at so they'll see the evidence of what you have and what your initial intent is, but at the same time, your mind is being manipulated and your EEG data is being stolen from you illegally without any kind of consent. Constant setups, constant psyops, constant perps basically showing up around every single corner, surveying you, harassing you, through either verbalization or colorization. And it's just a never-ending process with them. Oh, man. I honestly feel like I'm about to literally just go to sleep right now. And I don't want to do that with like leaving the live stream going. The Grid Keeper on YouTube. That's the Grid Keeper. All right, I'll definitely check that out. Man, there is a lot, and I do mean a lot of channels out there on YouTube, some of which has a lot of useful information that we could basically definitely use even today. But like all shadow banned channels, they're incredibly difficult to find. It's not easy, but not impossible either. As long as you're at least willing to like dig through its algorithms, you should definitely be able to find it just fine. But it's not easy. Oh, it's like 12:01. Huh. Oh, no, you don't. I know what they're doing. And nope. Fuck that. Where's the... seriously. Person can't even try to go to sleep in peace. This is why I was telling people to get copper fabric, because they will do this to you from time to time. Actually, a lot. They'll use stuff that's, man, I swear, these people, they just don't stop. They don't. And they really don't. Every day it's just like a desperate attempt just to destroy your life one after another. I'm just like, you know something? I just don't understand how people can just be so complicit with destroying the life of another person. But then you see how motivated they are just to basically get money, and then you see how the entertainment industry is made, and they're basically watching that stuff every day. Then it starts to make sense. They're just addicted to the system of what it's offering, and when people offer to basically make it easier for them, they sell their souls away to the devil just in order to, you know, have things easier, but they don't realize what they're losing in return. What I stated before still reigns true even now. There's a reason why the devil wants the soul so much, because you cannot put a price on the soul. And anybody willing to basically aid the devil in that. Wait, they luck. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, just you could just see the intent behind this. I mean, they literally are paying people what? Uh-oh, hang on. Okay, let me go back. All right. They're literally like paying people crazy amounts of money just to do the stuff that they do, right? It seems like everything that they do and the reason why they do it is all bent towards control, right? So it's still the same as trying to take a person's soul when they basically are, especially when you see that Bill Gates bastard showing how like they're trying to yep. But when you see that one thing that one, you know, interview with Bill Gates when he was going over certain technology they were working on, he had the nerve to call Christians hysterical individuals. It's crazy. He's crazy for that shit. Seriously, like the fact that he would call a Christian a hysterical individual shows that he has no empathy or morality for anybody's free will, not just their free will, but their right to basically uphold their religious beliefs. It's like he's against all of that, and it's just like, okay, I mean, if you could think whatever the heck you want, but you shouldn't ever enforce that crap on everybody else just because you feel a certain different way about situations. That's just not a fair situation at all to nobody. And when a person acts like that, still acts onto their own interest despite the fact that it's unfair to everybody else, I mean, that's selfishness. That's precisely what it is. That is selfishness. It's like 12. I think I'm gonna leave this going until like about 1. Then I'm gonna cut it out. But right now, I'm literally being hit with these weapons. Whew. I don't know what I did to piss them off this much. I mean, I would assume maybe like, I don't know, like 6,000 or something for you know, I don't know, basically the anti-nano bucket, but 8,000? Like seriously? Oh, man. I can only imagine how my mom even dealt with half the stuff that she had to deal with going through this mess. But despite that, I know she was definitely a strong-willed individual for sure. Definitely not an easy person to basically just take down of any circumstances. You know, when you see somebody behind a wheel of a car who is suffering from a seizure, is able to basically drive both her and her child all the way past all that basically going home from work traffic, and still be able to drive and park the car, you know that's definitely a strong individual. But the fact that she was still somewhat conscious even during a seizure leads me to believe that there just had to have been something more to it than that. Had to have been something more. I just can only hope that I find the truth one day as to really what happened. But I'm afraid that when I do find the truth to this, like it's this, I just don't know. I just don't know. It would have been at least closure, even if it would have been fake closure, that the coroner would have just said, you know, she just died from a, you know, maybe a heart, you know, like a seizure or something like that. Because, you know, oh, hey, Barefoot, you see, that would have, you know, that would have had me fooled for sure. But when you're telling me that, you know, you have absolutely no clue what the circumstances of her death was, that's leading me to believe that either I know her health was bad, but then I'm remembering back on how her medication got mixed up. And then I'm thinking back as to a lot of the stuff. And by the way, she did go through harassment on Facebook and such. That did happen. But other than that, it's just a difficult situation to deal with. Constantly surveyed all the time, constantly gang stalk, constantly gaslight all the time. It's just so much just to deal with on a daily basis. Yeah, Barefoot. Yeah, that's if you think that's bad, both my sister and my brother had to deal with that too. I didn't get the news until like right after I got off of work. I had absolutely no idea. Um, Basically, Barefoot, there is actually a misunderstanding that happened earlier related to a video that I uploaded, and it was regarding what Anonymous was saying, what someone playing as Anonymous, and apparently he was saying, well, you know, basically trying to call both Wayne, Cheryl, and Jeff, like, you know, handlers. But I showed. Oh, that? No, I was basically talking about my mom. Apparently, I'm under the. I believe that my mother was targeted. I did talk about this before, but anyway, my mother was definitely a targeted individual. By the time I, you know, found out about her death, it was around the time when I just like got off of work. And apparently my aunt and her sisters went there to go check out the situation, and it turns out that the coroner ended up, you know, saying, well, they couldn't identify her reason of death. They couldn't. That's just how bad it was. Now, I'm pretty certain she definitely was a targeted individual due to previous things she had to deal with. She did suffer from seizures. And there was a scenario to where her medication did get mixed up, as well as the fact that she was able to, you know, she had a seizure while she was driving the car, while literally right after she had picked me up from school. You can't tell me that a person who basically has a seizure while she's driving her kid, taking them home from school, fights through that, makes it, and is still able to park the car while having a seizure. You can't tell me that's not a strong person right there. You know, everybody's strong. But going over this stuff over a long period of time, it gets to you, man. It is not easy out there at all. When you trying to basically, make a living on your own, only to have corruptive assholes show up out of nowhere to just fuck everything up like that, it's a very unfair situation, which is why I'm just dedicated to getting off the grid. I could always just as well as try to get another job, but I mean, it's no point because the same thing is going to happen again, and much worse so if I stay put. Because they're planning on basically, if you do, you have the option to deny to get the vaccination. Well, I was epileptic as a kid, and I can't even imagine maintaining control of a car during a seizure. Yeah, I don't know how she did it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it couldn't have been a normal seizure because I've seen how bad those can get for her. And it's not a pretty sight at all, man. It just isn't. The other thing about this, not really so much as that, but hang on, what was I about to mention? It wasn't about, man, crap. I'm so freaking tired. I just forgot what I was about to say. Wow. Whew. And wait, did I just drop my? And yes, I did. Fix this. But oh yeah, now I remember. I could always just get another job, but this is too dangerous at this point, And it would be no different. It would just be the same old psyop stuff going on, the whole gaslighting thing. And as you all know, the whole thing is just a setup to make you seem, criminal, pretty much just insane or mentally ill. That's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is just that. But I proved my point when I showed the Gauss meter as I'm walking around, showing that I am being hit with high ends of radiation. Now, they can't come at me with that BS about anything else while I'm showing that. Now, if I didn't have that Gauss meter, they probably would have been able to have, say something else. And it couldn't have just been a coincidence that, a police officer just so happened to be right at the gas station as I showed up. Oh, man. Problem with that, Arch, is that even if TIs make a community, the one thing I'm afraid of is, and apparently a fellow TI told me about this because that's what I was saying before, like TIs just basically come together, leave this corruptive system behind and make their own community. And apparently it was a TI who basically mentioned Waco, Texas. Now I looked it up, and it turns out there were people who had, that exact. Yeah, it's definitely that all going on all the time. Now there were people out there who had that exact intent to basically, pretty much just get away from all the corruption, have their own town, and apparently they sent some goons over there to burn the town down, unfortunately, because they couldn't stand actual good people who just did not want anything to do with their corruptive bullshit and didn't want nothing to do with being a part of that corruptive, part of society. It's not saying that everybody within the corruptive part of society is bad, but it's so crazy out there that it basically all that bad sometimes overshadows the good. And it does this in means of, basically using the good. And I've witnessed this on more than one occasions. Oh, man. I don't know. It's already like 12, about to be 12:20. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream here. I'm just too tired to keep this thing going. Stay safe. Stay strong, everybody.